Ooh, a short one. Welcome back to another bonus boat edition of the Love Boat Project. I am Mike Robertson, joined as always by Mike Taylor, and tonight we will be discussing the first and last episodes of the last season, the second season of The Ropers, a show that we've talked about a lot in our What Else Is On in various forms, and a show, Mike, I don't know if this is safe to say for you, but for me, of all the stuff we've done so far, including The Love Boat, this is the only show that I actually remember seeing as a kid.
Yeah, same boat here. I remember when the show came out. I remember Three's Company was just kind of part of TV when you didn't have many channels growing up. So this was kind of a big deal. Anytime you had a spinoff, I felt like it was a big deal, or I
And,
thought it was a big deal.
and I think there's a lot of like machinations. We will talk about the two episodes
Mm,
that I mentioned, but this is almost more about how the Ropers came to be and how the Ropers ended. It's a story that's pretty famous, but it's really kind of like a sad story, especially for our good dear friend Norman Fell,
yeah,
um,
ooh,
and and, and
yeah,
kind of the guy who knew what was going to happen, tried to warn everyone, no one listened, and he ended up getting the short end of all this. But
amazing, amazing. Yeah, this was
the
quite a backstory here.
So, just for the quick kind of what we're quote unquote watching tonight. So, we watched the premiere episode, which is the season two episode of The Ropers called The Party. And this is where Mr. Roper throws a surprise party for Mrs. Roper. And wouldn't you know it, the Three's Company gang shows up to help out, clearly trying to goose the Ropers show for season two. Then the last episode of the season and the series is Mrs. Roper's mother comes to town and is basically having a living wake because she wants to have a party while she's alive so she can be around to see it.
Don't forget
The
Jenny.
difference in everything between the first episode of that season, yeah. The difference between the first episode of their final season and the last episode, I think, probably sums up a lot of what happened.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, the first episode, you had the embrace of Three's Company right there. I mean, you had them
Yeah.
on screen with them versus Jenny and Mrs. Roper's sister. It was weird. Like they were very much they were I felt like they were on an island at that point where they were
Yeah.
no longer they had cut that Three's Company string at that
And
point.
it's really unfair to even, I mean, the Ropers opening episode was so much a Three's Company episode that when you look for it on Peacock, it is under the Three's Company catalog, not the
Yeah,
Ropers.
it's Three's
So
Company season 3 episode 24. We're robbed of the Roper's theme song.
yeah, we got
Not
to listen to the Three's Company theme song. I like
which
that.
is nothing to sneeze at, I will admit. And I love that opener. The
Yeah.
opener's great. The what tell us a story,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic.
But it was very weird. And it also made me realize, so I'm a few years younger than you, so I would not have been watching this
Hmm.
as it first came out, but it made me realize that they must have just thrown in some Ropers episodes into the Three's Company syndication package, because there's no other way I would have ever seen these growing up, but I
Mm.
definitely watched the Ropers because I'm very aware of the theme song and
It's smart if
Jeffrey
it works,
Tambor and
you
that
know?
house. Well,
I
I
mean, if
think
it
it's also
works
you're
and
just
you can
adding,
yeah.
but it was interesting in a number of ways, some good, some bad. But I think before we talk about however much we're going to talk about those episodes, we should probably kind of talk about how we got there, which again is a pretty famous story, but kind of a sad one.
It is a sad story.
So season three of Three's Company, we talked about this. This is the 78-79 season,
Mhm.
so our season two of The Love Boat was also season 2 for Three's Company, and it's a juggernaut.
Right.
I think it was like top 2, might have been the top
It
rated show
was.
in the country. Like, it was a monster.
Well, it was
And
it
what
was
would
dominating
happen
that
back
Tuesday night ABC sitcom lineup. So you had Happy Days at 8:30 Laverne and Shirley, 9 p.m. Three's Company, and they put the Ropers right at that 9:30. Like, what a sweet spot. Totally setting them up for success.
right. And it worked. We when we did the ratings review last season, they were top 5, top 6.
They were
When we did it this year, got
well, I was gonna say in the very first season for the Ropers, they were they finished at number 8, very high for a brand new show.
yeah,
For the 78-79 season. But to your
right.
point, it wasn't nearly at the bottom. I think it was in the bottom 5 of the ratings when they did move it to Saturday nights at 8 p.m.
Yeah, which is how we kind of, stumbled across it this season, and we noticed that at some point it got moved out of the 8 o'clock spot, and not for great shows, right? Like, for
No.
shows that came and went too. Um, the the juggernaut that was Three's Company remained, but once they moved out of that night and that time slot, it was death. It was absolute death.
Can you imagine if they had done, right? Say you had 8 p.m., right? 8 p.m. Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley at 8:30, Three's Company 9, Ropers at 9:30, leaving an hour. Boy, imagine if they throw the boat at 10 o'clock on Tuesday nights
Wait,
I mean,
it's so funny because we're obviously doing our show, in a much different context than it was
sure.
originally aired, but
Yeah.
it does feel like a Saturday night show, whereas The Ropers does not feel like a
No.
Saturday night show,
I don't Saturday
so
night's just not a sitcom show in my opinion. Like, it's a
it
bigger
really
that's why
isn't. I
Chips
agree.
is on. That's why BJ's on. Well, even Friday nights you had Dukes of Hazzard, you had Dallas. Friday night wasn't a big sitcom night, but those
No.
I wonder what it was. Like, I wonder who said, I mean, were they just trying to build a longer launching pad for the Love Boat with those ratings, or
Well,
was it somebody didn't like the show, or I wonder what really happened.
I think you you probably say, okay, these ratings were good, and I believe in the summer when they moved it around a little bit, the ratings remained good, and
Sure.
so they probably think this show can stand on its own, and it can be the lead into that Saturday night because how many in our season 2, the pre, the lead into the Love Boat,
Right.
there was a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, they tried a bunch of different things.
So,
Absolutely.
they're clearly trying to establish, and they're probably trying to fight Chips with something different. Chips was the top rated Saturday night show in this season, so they probably were trying to fight fire with a different kind of fire, but
It's
just it almost
interesting.
seems like right from the jump, it just was because you're right. It should be hour-long stuff, or like, is it CBS that has the Tim Conway show now?
Right,
Like, where
right.
we're at? It's like, should be
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, you remember the
Um,
Carol Burnett show was killing it
right.
when we first
Exactly.
started
When we
doing this
first
on
started.
CBS.
Yeah. And I
I
just feel like for a Saturday night to sit and watch. Now, granted, there's commercials when you watch it, but man, these things move. There's like 2 commercial breaks.
it is
These things are just wild to watch,
well,
now.
I was coming off that doing notes from that 90-minute season 3 finale. I put these things on to rewatch, and I was like, "Whoa, I could watch these 4 more times, and it'd be nothing." And you know what? These were good watches. These were entertaining 20 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that these shows were better than other shows at the time. I can say with confidence that I was entertained by both episodes. Without a doubt, I was entertained.
I would say I was entertained by the first episode.
But I'm not entertained by anybody that's a roper. Like, the
Fair.
star of the show
Yeah.
was not Mr. or Mrs. Roper,
No, I know
to
who it
me.
was. Yeah,
Right.
I know who it was.
Which
So,
is crazy.
I mean, it made me wish this obviously wouldn't have happened, but it almost made me wish that the show didn't exist, but the Jeffrey Brooks character
Oh,
existed, and he basically you're just ripping off Faulty Towers,
he
but
was
he owns
great.
the development, right? And it's just like he has mixed muscles because that's the interesting thing about the Ropers. And I don't think I realized this at the time. Obviously, I was just a child, but it was like the there was no way those characters were going to be able to carry a week to week
No, not at
show,
all.
and then to put them in essentially, again, we watched 2 episodes, one of them which
Right.
was a Three's Company thing, but it's like basically there's a neighbor, his wife, and a
Right.
child,
And their child.
and then like to your point, this Jenny person shows up halfway through in
hell is
desperation. But it's like, what are these shows going to be about? Like Archie Bunker's Place, as weird as that was,
At least there was a premise.
they stuck him in a bar. You're going to have
Right.
characters come through. Like, why?
But this is
There was just
Well,
no way this was going to be good.
and it's
And
funny because it's static. There's nothing that moves. If there's not people coming to their house,
yeah,
whereas
They
if
were
you're
in
a
one
landlord, there's no movement.
they were in one set
Yeah, that's second
for that
that's
second
all-
episode. Yeah, it's basically the living room.
Thank God for Jeffrey Tambor. That's all I gotta say.
But the other part is like Norman Fell, Mr. Roper is a bad guy, right? He's a heel.
Yes.
Like he's a heel
He's
you
the
like and all
cheap.
that stuff.
He doesn't want to have sex with his wife. He's
Right, you
cheap,
know,
he's
it's like-
old-fashioned. Right.
So then you have another heel in the Jeffrey Tambor character.
Right.
It's like,
So who's the hero in it? Is Mrs. Roper the hero by default?
but then
But
she
then it's
is a lot. Like it's
Right,
just there's
right.
there's nothing to ground it. There's
they have all
nothing.
these like characters with color, but you don't have any substantial characters to drive a plot. Or is it just going
Yeah.
to be a series of physical comedy bits, which again, that carried right over from Three's Company. I mean, if you look at that second episode, the amount of physical comedy Tambor is doing,
Oh yeah.
but it's the same thing. And I think you make a great point. There's nowhere for it to go. There's no, all they have is their apartment.
Well, and it's funny because like we did that when they were doing What Else Is On, and we would read
Yeah.
kind of the synopsises, and it's like it was like, oh, he
It's
meets a
just-
kid, or he's at work, or it's just like there's no, it
It's-
just wasn't anything there.
No, and it's such a vanilla story. There's nothing crazy. It's always a misunderstanding. You know, it
Oh my god.
right. It's the same. There's always some sort of miscommunication.
The
Someone
the
can't hear. Like it's just always something. like that.
walking into a Three's Company episode
Yeah.
after all this time, when I have not watched a Three's Company,
That was
I can't
wild.
even tell you, and it is
This
full on Three's
pratfalls
Company.
and-
There are
cardboard
pratfalls
boxes.
and just everything is misconstrued as sex, and there's all these misunderstandings
Everything.
and so many, like just so many. It was like Three's Company on 50, and it was good.
They went
but
to
I-
it well so much in the,
but
in the
I'm
course
also-
of that series. But yeah, that
I'm
was heavy
also
handed.
like, why
Jesus.
was I
Mm.
was I allowed to watch that show as a
Right?
child?
Well, I was thinking the same thing, and I remember going, "That was perfectly fine when I was a kid." And it was, you know, oh ha ha ha, he thinks Jack is gay. Like it was a very adult themes, but hey, I'll tell you what, you slap a laugh
had
track
forgotten
on
that.
it, you can put.
I
a
had
kid in front of it.
100% forgotten the Jack is gay part.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that kid was precocious. But
just-
he didn't even make
I
it to the last episode. So
I just want to take a second, Mike, while we're here to talk a little bit about Norman Fell. I don't have a lot on him, but I have a little on him. Number one, he's from Philly, Mike, which made me feel bad. Number two,
it's funny.
he's a temple
I was
grab,
told that.
too.
Yeah, I
Mm.
know. I was told this recently about his Philadelphia status, which made me feel very bad that we have an
I
award
felt
named after his.
horrible,
But I
mean,
will
he
say
or he didn't
he
do
earned
the
it.
work. So yeah, he earned every
he
second
earned
of that.
it. Yeah, so
Yeah, it said he studied drama at Temple after serving in the U.S. Air Force during World War II. Won a Golden Globe in the season we're talking about for supporting actor in 1979 at Three's Company. And for Audra Lindley, one note: before she started doing Three's Company and started getting back into acting in the 60s, she took a break from acting to raise her 5 children, and then
Wow.
went back to acting. I just thought interesting, and she
which is
did not-
interesting.
Hmm.
Well, that's That's interesting context because to get to the other thing that we kind of been hitting
Right.
around is the legendary story is they come,
Awful
they
story.
offer them the spinoff. Audra Lindley is very interested in it because she was a little bit older and maybe this was her big chance to, have her own thing. Norman Fell saw the writing on the wall immediately, didn't want to jump off the gravy train, was very much against it. They finally convinced him to do it with the caveat that if it only lasted a season, they would bring him
Right.
back.
Right.
So he's not excited about this, but he does it. They technically went more than a season because they started early,
Well,
the previous season.
yeah,
And so when it gets
accidentally.
right. So when it gets canceled, yeah. So when it gets canceled, he's got nowhere to go back. Now, the Don Knotts of it all probably made that unlikely, but
Well, it was
it
math,
got to the
right? I mean,
point in some of the things I read where right,
go ahead. I'm
it
sorry.
got to the point where Norman Fell it got to the point where Norman Fell was so the it made me think about spinoffs in terms of like the good ones, right?
Sure. Sure.
Like I was thinking of Frasier was like the perfect one.
How about three's a crowd? No?
It was funny.
No?
I saw that was available on Peacock. I did. So we may do that in a few years.
I mean,
Um, but it just made me think of like when they did Frasier, they stuck it behind Seinfeld, which
right,
was
right.
behind Cheers initially. Like it was a good time slot built up for a few years. But
They treated it like it
that
was a family
show
member. You know what I mean? Like it was related. Yeah.
and that show just like Kelsey Grammer was an amazing actor. They did a whole
Sure.
new thing. Like it just made sense.
You're saying
I
Norman is no he's no Kelsey
I
Grammer? Is that what you're
I
saying here?
think I think this would have been like if they'd give Norm or Cliff the spinoff
I
and
think
not
Cliff would probably be Mr. Clavin would probably be more appropriate.
but it's that thing where I think Norman Fell was a smart man who knew and nobody wants to say it, right? But I think he knew that his character and those characters were way better in 5-minute things than 22.
Well, because he was still doing the same Three's Company shtick on the
But
Ropers.
just a lot more.
Right, which you don't need a lot more. It's almost like it's a little goes a long way. That's his whole. Uh, yeah, I wonder what. So they've moved it to Saturday at 8. And again, you had mentioned before, and I'd read also that Phil went to ABC headquarters in person to plead with the network, which
It's just sad. It's
apparently
just
had no
sad
pull.
because they probably knew at that time that it was already gone. I think he probably knew it was already
Well,
gone,
who's a better
right?
landlord if we take Lindley out of the equation, right? Because the numbers wise, Don Knotts is always going to win over paying 2 people. However, take Lindley out, who's better? But thing is, Mr. Roper's not Mr. Roper without Mrs. Roper. So
Well, but the other thing is this is still Suzanne Summers.
yeah,
Furley
there's
didn't
that
get a
too.
lot of Suzanne Summers,
No,
So he
I
had to be better. I think we may
I
have run
think he
into
was
a
better.
similar I think we would have run into a similar issue where there was a little too much ropers once Suzanne Summers left, right? Like
I
Don
see.
Knotts could carry it more than, so I think they're all
Yeah,
great. I think they're all
I think they're
great.
all great too.
And I think the first episode that we watched, which was essentially the Three's Company episode, you
So
saw
much better.
that
Yeah.
when we got to the second episode where it's
Mm.
not much is there in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of characters, but there's not much there.
Or maybe, I
And
mean, maybe the people behind the show were like, it's just not a good show. We don't want to put it on Tuesday nights because I mean, who's to say, aside from the one that was really a Three's Company episode, who's to say that the show was any good? Like,
yeah,
that's the other thing. I mean, maybe it should
I
have gotten booted to Saturday.
so I watched today.
Yeah.
I watched like the first half of what was their first proper Ropers episode.
What'd you
Now,
think?
well, so first of all, they did a couple backdoor pilots on Three's Company
Okay.
You had mentioned that moving out thing like that. I think
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
actual last one they're on Three's Company. So they probably, without watching it, they probably introduced the Brooks then or something like that because they come into this first episode at least knowing them
Oh,
a
well
little bit.
established.
Not they are moving in. They are literally moving in the first episode, but they at least were aware of the Brookses a little bit, you know. And it's kind of like what it is. And of course, there's like, oh, the Brookses are having this congressman over for dinner, and here come the Ropers. Like it's just, and that's fine. But there just was only. I don't think there was a lot of legs in that show,
No. Well,
no matter where they put it. So
as you're talking about the show, I'm thinking, okay, you're the Ropers, which means you have enough juice to sort of like get this spin-off, right? But I kind of alluded to it earlier. I thought the Brooks were more entertaining than the Ropers. So who's to say it
1,000,000%.
wouldn't have been a better show if it had been the Brooks without
Right.
it be not that that was ever possible. I'm just saying as an on-screen couple, don't even couple, you take Mr. Brooks versus Mr. Roper. I mean, I think they missed the boat on this whole thing. Like, I
Yeah,
think the Brooks thing was the way to go.
it's almost like if Don Knotts had been the first landlord and they spun him
Yes.
off and put him next to Mr. Brooks, that actually would have worked,
Right.
more.
They
But
were
it's a
so
good guy
good.
versus a bad guy. But it's just like they were basically just two
It was
bad
the
guys.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
So
But if you look at the effort, and again, I hate to say Norman and the word effort because they just don't go together. I would say that Jeffrey Tambor, I mean, was bringing it.
he was amazing.
You could see the effort. Like,
he was so, and it's funny. I remember that. Like I remember him being like that. Like I know him from that and Mr. Mom growing up. Like that was, and he's so good as the finicky heel,
oh, 100%.
and so we can get into the episodes here. So the first episode, like I said, Mr. Roper and Mrs. Roper get in an argument because Mrs. Roper was promised a vacation and he doesn't want to do vacations.
Well, because he's cheap, Mike. It's the
Yeah.
old standby. He's cheap and he doesn't want to have sex with his wife.
Classic.
Classic.
So after talking to the Brooks's precocious child, he figures out a surprise party. That's what we'll do. But he doesn't want to do any work because he's also lazy.
Let me.
So
You brought up the precocious child, and I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't bring this up. Let's talk about sitcom bowl cuts on kids. Mike, can you give me three television stars of this era, right around this era, that are famous for their bowl cut? And please, if you could give me actor, show, character name.
All right. So
preferably.
Adam Rich
Yes.
on 8 is Enough.
Yes.
Who I don't know the character's
I have
name.
no
I
idea
forget.
either. Yeah, I don't know.
Sam from Different Strokes,
Played.
who would later go on to be in Salute Your Shorts.
Actor's name? It's funny. That's the second one I have written down right here.
Danny something.
Danny Cooksey.
Yeah, how about that?
And there's one more to see if we have a match here.
God, is it the kid with the glasses I can't think of?
Bowl cuts only. Only
No.
bowl cuts.
Sorry, I don't know that I have a third. Who's the third?
Oh,
again?
it's the most famous of them all. It's Joey Lawrence and Give Me a Break.
Oh, bad job by me. You're right.
They love
you're 100% right.
They love the bowl cuts on precocious children in sitcoms in this era. Love it.
It's funny because I don't think I've seen any pictures where I had that as a kid, so maybe I got lucky.
Oh no, I had the bowl cut,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah.
You'd kill for that today though, wouldn't you?
Oh, just call me Danny Cooksey. Sure would.
So Norman Fell gets on the horn and he calls the old apartment. Chrissy, Suzanne Summers picks up. So we just talked about this in our last Love Boat episode about phone acting.
Mm-hmm.
No, this actually lends itself more to your point that the actor was the problem, not the writer last week, because Suzanne Summers is doing similar repeating but she's just doing it way better. So maybe I was wrong.
No, the acting we're going to see in this episode is amazing.
Yeah.
And when I say acting, of course, I'm referring to physical acting. I'm not talking about words. Come on.
So she is talking to Mr. Roper. He wants them to come help. So there's a bit of a tension between Roper and Jack, which I had forgotten about. But basically, Janet and Chrissy are going to go over and help teach him how to disco.
Not until Janet needs a shower as soon as she gets there. She had to
Well,
get out
Jen
of
had to
these
run.
sweaty
Jen had to
pants.
run 8 miles. So, which now you have way more California experience than I do. Is that like always a good running? Just because
No.
it's 8 miles away, it's not like highway.
That's not even runnable. I mean, I guess technically, theoretically, it's runnable, but that's not she would be drenched from head to toe if she ran in Santa Monica. If she ran 8 miles. Come on.
Well, she was drenched from head to toe, pretty much.
Yeah, but she's just delayering. Her hair would have been a wet, matted mess, not the dry female bob she sported. Joyce DeWitt, former star of the Love Boat.
Probably not a stubby nominee.
No,
So,
no.
We
No,
have.
I
We should
guess she
point
was a
out
guest this year. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. We should point out there are 2 stubby nominees in this first episode. And then one person who has a stubby named after them, and then probably a stubby nominee coming up. We have apologized for not nominating Suzanne Summers in our first season. That was the first episode we ever did. We clearly didn't know what we were doing.
We didn't know.
But she was really good.
She was great.
Anyway, it turns into a Three's Company episode because
That's all it is.
Chrissy and Janet go over to help out. Mr. Brooks sees all this. He thinks there's going to be an orgy.
Well, Janet comes down in just a towel and teaches him how to disco dance. I mean,
yeah. So, but of
that was
course,
a little,
Mr. Brooks is looking through the window, while pretending to water the plants, and he wets his pants, and then he's out there in boxers. It's classic.
Well, he's out there in boxers and sock garters, which sock garters equals comedy.
It is true. What is he, a scientist?
This guy. I like how he forgot. Like he forgot he was just in his shoes, socks, sock garters, shirt, vest, jacket, and tie only. It's just, it just made me laugh. I love dumb physical comedy like this. Just,
I think my favorite part of that episode was the John Ritter, Jeffrey Tambor, Patty McCormick kind of bit in their kitchen. I thought that was like the best part.
The Cirque du Soleil act that John Ritter did with that giant cardboard box was pretty amazing.
That was great.
That was great.
He caught Patty McCormick falling off the thing.
John Ritter's amazing.
Tambor is just so offended that she doesn't even know the name of the bag boy that she's having an affair with. Like it was really good. It made me.
The chemistry between Tambor and Ritter was really like jumped off the screen.
It made, and I think Jeffrey Tambor eventually would guest star as different characters on a few Three's Companies.
Hope so. Sure.
But it's like, it made me wish that they had, like, he should have been the guy that bought Jack's Bistro instead of that weird guy with the beard or something. Yeah. But
he was amazing. Yeah,
it was great. And shout out to our girl, Patty McCormick, former stubby nominee for Best Horn Dog. She is a great mom. She got a lot of good zingers in.
She was good.
But you're right. It was just so many miscommunications, so many sexual innuendos, so many double entendres. But then the whole episode ends because Mrs. Roper missed her surprise party because she got locked in a gas station bathroom.
Yeah.
Which is just
what are you really doing, Audra Lindley? What's going on?
She was on an island.
Yeah.
So she was looking for John Astin.
Or that's what happened to Julie in season 6. I couldn't make it because that's terrible. Sorry, Julie.
Poor Julie. Don't besmirch Julie in
I'm
this.
sorry. I don't know why I said that. I take that back. One thing I did notice, and I think it's that formulaic, much like the bowl cut, they had a thing back then for matching a leading male character who wasn't exactly like a looker with a much better looking wife. Examples are in Belvedere, Bob Uecker and his wife. It always shakes out that way. No different here. This was not a balanced cut. Like, these guys would never be together. There's no way. Like, no offense to Mr. T, but
I don't know. Maybe he had hair when. If he had hair, you wouldn't say anything.
Oh, no, no, I don't discriminate based on how
Hmm.
follically challenged you are. That's just
So, do you think Jeffrey Tambor is less attractive than Billy Barty's child, who Patty McCormick went after on the boat
oh
last year?
God.
Remember, she wanted to have 16
Yeah,
kids.
she did. Billy Barty. Yeah, I need some time on that one, Mike. I'm gonna need some time and some scratch paper to figure that one out. Uh,
um,
wow.
any other real notes from that
I
first
mean,
episode that we watched, except that it was, clearly just a Three's Company episode, which
it's
was
just it's the spirit of the show, which I find interesting on like a sitcom like that is essentially you're just unplugging your brain, right?
oh
And I
yeah,
wonder if it's just the equivalent of today scrolling your phone, this mindless, and I don't mean it in a bad
or like
way.
a reality show.
Right. Like, is
Yeah.
this was just that easy. You didn't have to think too much, just gonna make you laugh, might not, but it's just like this easily digestible form of entertainment, which was
I
fine.
mean, it was fun to watch that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was, regardless if it was good or bad or whatever. I'm not gonna ruin things I used to like by
No,
being a
no,
critic
no.
about it, right? But it was just
No.
fun. It was a fun wave of nostalgia for a show I haven't seen in a long time. And like I said, it's just like I make references, oh, this is a Three's Company episode all the time when there's these
Sure.
misunderstandings. But like to see the
A real
original
deal. Yeah.
and to see it souped up to like 10 was amazing. It was just, and it was right away because again,
There's no time.
it's 22 minutes. There's a long opening credit, there's a long ending credit, so it's really like 20
It's like
minutes.
20-minute show. Just
And
boom.
there's like a
Introduce story.
really long first act. Like it is
Yeah,
really
I thought
long.
that too. I was like, wow, this is a hell of a
I
setup.
think
They're
that first
really
act went all the way till he got locked out with no pants on.
so it's probably like the quarter past the hour mark or
Yeah.
almost half if
Yeah.
you're going to hit that commercial or the 13 minutes past the hour, whatever
Well,
it
I
is.
think don't forget before shows would come back and kind of try to get you to stay till 8:30, the thing would basically end at like 8:25 and then you'd go back just to watch the credits, which no one would do.
I used to like it when it would end at 8:25 and then right before it's almost like at 29 or 59 past the hours when you get that preview for next week because they wanted you
Yeah.
to bleed right into
Yep.
Street Hawk or whatever's coming on next after that, depending on what channel, what year you're watching television. I thought it was good, but it was interesting to look at this show from a different lens. I
Yes.
remembered as a kid. I don't necessarily remember this episode as a kid, but I remember that Three's Company feel
Yeah.
as far as this first episode.
Well, and again, you walk right into that bum, 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 bum,
Yeah,
bum, and Jack on the bike and everything. It
it's
was just because I will say this. I don't remember when in my life I was definitely a child. I don't know what time of day. My guess is it was like maybe after school, but like
mm-hmm.
there was a double shot of Three's Company on
Oh yeah,
syndication every day. So I have seen
absolutely.
all the Three's Companies like a lot. So that is a very formative show, which again should not have been viewed by a 6 or 7 or 8 year old
No,
after
God
school.
no.
So it's probably
But
why
it's
I'm
interesting.
so normal and adjusted today.
Well, it's interesting. So that first episode, right? Obviously, because it had the Three's Company, intro and the Three's Company people and all this other stuff, it made you feel a certain way, nostalgia. However, when you get to that next episode, that is a very different show, and it
Yes.
feels completely different. It feels detached from the Three's Company world
Yeah.
because you don't know anybody. Like there's no common thread between the two other than the Ropers. There's some girl named Jenny who apparently doesn't get changed to go to parties. Uh, it's just weird, and thank God. I thought Jeffrey Tambor did great, but other than him, it was just
Yeah. So,
man.
well, you want to talk about the theme song first? Because that's what we actually get
Um,
first.
it's the greatest theme song in the history of theme songs, and I really wish I wanted to be able to play it this week as our, but I don't want to get yanked down for such a
Get brought down by the
well,
estate of Norman Fell.
they're already mad at us, Mike. We're
Yeah,
already on their
that's true.
radar, so I don't
That's
need
true. I'm
to.
gonna really get in trouble from Temple. So
Oh, they're gonna be. They might be
the
at your
alumni
door right now.
association is gonna come after me.
Oh boy, Gritty's gonna show up just representing Philly. Oh boy, we don't need that.
So the conceit of the second one, it opens with Mrs. Brooks and Mrs. Roper and the aforementioned Jenny are doing exercise. And again, we have to work on our bust. A lot of bust
They
talk
love to
in
talk
this.
about some bust in this episode. Like
Yeah,
I
both
swear they went to
episodes.
that well like 4 or 5 times. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like, okay.
So Jenny is leading this, much like Julie leads the exercises on the boat.
I
So
think they were the same exercises, Mike. They're doing the
I
same
think they
bullshit
were
exercises.
actually. I think it's how Gordon Jump got hurt last week. So I looked this up in my when we were supposed to do this episode a few months ago, and so
Yeah.
I looked it up then. I didn't look it up today, but I believe the storyline with Jenny is that like she was living in their storeroom or something like that. Like it was like
Oh,
something
God.
weird, like, you know.
She's a stowaway, like that kid who
I
became Blood
think
Brothers
that's
with
I think
oh,
that's what it is. She's
Miss
Charo.
Pepito. Is she Pepito this show?
But clearly, like, I mean, it's only
What do you-
one season, and they bring her in because they clearly thought they needed like another character, right? Like this is probably essentially them just trying to find storylines.
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't bring Danny Cooksey in. You know, Sam would
Well,
have
they
been
had a
like their,
kid.
their nephew. Another
they
one.
had
They're
a
gonna
kid, but he
keep
got
bringing him in.
he got sidelined. He
Yeah,
got
he didn't-
shelved for this
Like,
last
you're
episode.
you're not cute enough, kid. Your bowl's not deep enough on that. You know, they had all these things to lean on. You had the kid. You know, like Mr. Belvedere's Wesley. You have the Wesley part.
Oh,
You
this
got
kid was no
Jenny.
Wes. This kid was no Wesley.
No,
though,
he's no
so-
Wesley. Don't. He's no Danny Pintaro either. I'm
The,
just saying,
uh,
they had all these things on the story to lean on. You had the Jenny thing. You had the neighbors. You had the Brooks. You had the kid. Like, God, this episode was really bad.
It was really bad.
Oh.
So the Mr. Brooks comes and he says that, you know, Roper had blocked him in, so he moved his car and basically didn't turn the parking brake on. So Norman Fell has to go run after a car, which is
And now
hilarious.
his car's totaled. It's in the ocean now. And the laugh track plays. Like, what the hell?
So many people died.
Yeah, the
at
car
hands
runs
of his
over
big
Norman.
old
Yeah.
car.
Awful.
Jeffrey Tambor tells the girls they're doing exercises wrong, and wouldn't you know it, when he tries to show them what's for, he hurts his back and he's basically laid up on the couch.
I don't think he moves much. Once
No,
he gets settled
they
in that
moved
chair.
him, yeah. Which is also like, all right, so this is everybody was checked out. Like Jeffrey Tambor's like, I'm not gonna walk in this episode.
No,
So,
no, I'm not. Yeah. God, it's
Um,
so bad. And the mom.
so basically he gets back pills which make him loopy and he's all drugged up. So that's basically the
that's
Jeffrey
the
Tambor
Tambor
thing.
role.
Mom shows up. Now, did you recognize Mom?
I did recognize Mom, but I could not place the details. And I
She-
feel bad because I should remember her.
She owned the building for Bosom Buddies, the apartment building where they lived.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So-
that's crazy. I was a big Bosom Buddies fan, too.
Well, if you're a big Bosom Buddies fan, I'd like to invite you to check out season 4's premiere episode of The Love Boat airing on May 18th here, because there might be a bosom buddy on that boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump himself.
So,
Who is it? Peter Scolari. Who do we get?
Wendy Joe.
Donna Dixon. Yeah.
I bet you Donna Dixon ends up on this boat.
I could
We've already
see
had
that.
Thelma Hopkins. So Mom shows up. She's being weird. Turns out she's in town to fill out her will. So Norman
So she
Fell.
wasn't dying, right? So she
No,
wasn't dying
not
at
at
all.
all.
This
Never
is, this
dying
is
at
just
all,
for
yeah.
comedy.
Right. So
Okay.
Norman Fell originally very upset that his mother-in-law is here, and now is very excited because there's will talk.
Yeah,
So he's
money.
starting to,
Lowest common denominator. Like,
the Mrs. Roper's sisters show up, including Ethel Roper, Mike,
yes.
the
How do I know this person?
the better half of that son of a bitch, Wes Larson. That is
Oh,
Mrs.
God.
Larson.
I forgot
the-
about that son
yeah.
of a bitch.
As we said last season when we met her, she felt like a dollar store Nancy Marchand, and she
Yeah.
really felt like that today.
She really
So-
did too. That's a good point.
She was very much like, I
Sure.
kept waiting for her to yell at Frank Drebin. Like she was just very like,
Yeah,
so.
I remember her now. Oh, she was
Long-
good. I'll tell you what, she was good in this episode.
She was good, but like
I mean,
she
didn't
had,
have a lot. It was,
but here's the thing: she had more than like
no.
shit. By definition, because the cast is so limited, they end up having to have the guest stars have like a lot to do.
Well, the mom had so many lines.
Oh my god!
And then you have some priest coming in. I don't even know why that priest showed up. Like we have extra
So
lines. Have
yeah, here
someone else
you
show up.
want some of these? Yeah. So basically the gist of the episode is that mom wants to have a wake while she's alive, and so she invited everybody over. It's catered. Caterers show up. It's a whole party. They
Men
invite
in
people from the
tuxedos
neighborhood.
too.
Yeah. Um and to your point, a minister who was across the street visiting his brother, I think he said, came
Something
over to
like
say
that.
some words, and boy was he shocked when he found out that the deceased was
Yeah. Who is
alive.
the deceased? That's me.
Yeah. But the whole thing is Ethel and Mr. Roper are basically trying to get into the will and get all the money. Mrs. Roper just wants the family to not fight over money. And the third sister, Hildy, is having her seventh child.
Also, she likes to drink milk while eating pickle spears in the kitchen. Oh God, that's
I
all I
missed
could
that.
see.
I
That's
did
all I
not
could
know.
see.
Well, she's
Oh
pregnant, but she's pregnant.
no, but she's really. In
That's
case you
TV.
didn't think she was, that's how
That's
you
TV.
know.
That's
That's
TV cravings, man.
TV cravings.
It's just so funny because we've both have had to live with pregnant women, and it's like I don't remember it being so cartoony. Like
No,
so,
my wife liked to. She went through a thing where she wanted a chocolate milkshake. Right, every time we'd go to
yeah.
like
But
that diner that you
you know what
recommended
though?
up in North.
You
But
know what
that's
though?
but it's
Your wife
fine.
wants
It's
that when
fine.
she's not pregnant too. I
Yeah,
mean, to
well,
be
that's
fair,
true.
that's not
That's
that
true.
weird. So,
Chocolate. Oh, how
yeah,
how
how
unique.
how
How
exotic.
exotic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But so
Unlike
this
this
is the
one.
whole
Mm.
episode is the mom keeps thinking Mr. Roper is one of the other son-in-laws. Jeffrey Tambor is drugged up. The one daughter, she thinks the pregnant one got knocked up by Jeffrey Tambor because she thinks that's her husband.
It's a
It's a lot of that.
whole.
And it's just a lot of it. And again, kind of to the point that we've been saying, nothing really happens. They all stay in
No.
this one room. It's like a play.
Well, it is. It's right. It's one scene and nothing.
Yeah, time
Yeah.
doesn't elapse. It's basically
No.
real time, so
It's just movement between characters in the same set. Yeah, it was. It really
and
wasn't good. It wasn't.
no,
I don't know
it
if it was
wasn't.
bad. It just
No,
wasn't.
it
It just
was.
wasn't
I thought
good.
it was, especially coming on. Maybe it wouldn't have been bad if we had watched like a bunch of them. It just would have been what it was. But to
From
go
somebody
from the
from
high energy of the
yes
first one to
to
that,
this
it made
throw
it. It's like you can sympathize with Norman Fell and everything, and maybe
yes
they had given up by this point. But it was like, man, I can't watch that episode and think this is a good idea to keep it for a second season. This is terrible.
no no. It's just. I
Well,
mean, well, what it was back for one more or what? No, that was the
this is
final.
it. This
That
is
was
the
it.
so the
Boy, they
final
whimpered out, dude.
the
Jesus, that just
final
nothing.
right, because the last scene, the last two people to talk and for a while
Yeah,
are Ethel and the mom.
right.
Like the
Which
Ropers
was
don't even
so
talk
weird.
at the end of the
Because
last episode.
it just goes back to the point you made that they're like auxiliary characters. They're supporting characters
Yeah.
at best, and that's not a bad thing. It's just what they are. You can't promote them because now you just have like the Brooks are the same thing as the Ropers. It's the same.
They
It doesn't make
really,
any sense. Is Jenny supposed to be the star of the Ropers now? Like you
I
know what I'm saying?
mean,
It
yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
they really.
They
The
fucked this
only
up,
way
Mike. It's
this would have
just
worked, it did. The only way the Ropers would have worked long term is if he would have sold the apartment and gotten a job at a hotel where you could have
yes.
and then you know what, Mr. Brooks owns the hotel or
You can have
something
your
like that.
interactions with him, or
So
right
you can still have those
somehow.
interactions, but you also could just have a rotating cast of characters that they could deal with.
But this is
But this is
where
so
are they getting the characters from?
right,
It had
and
to be a
it's
relative or like a
right,
Mr. Brooks
right. Do they even leave?
colleague
Do
or
they leave the house? Do they ever leave the complex?
were there
Like,
any other family members in the Ropers? Like cousins? I'm just
I
wondering like
mean,
how else you have interactions
I have no idea.
beyond like wacky neighbors.
Yeah, it was.
It made
It
me
was
sad, man.
disappointing, and it kind of left me with a bad taste of the
Yes.
Ropers, which made me sad too. So
Well, it killed me too as we watched these episodes and I was kind of like looking at the story. You know, they told him he could come back if in a year. What was it? The actual?
I tried to if the show gets
Uh,
canceled within a year, in the first year or whatever they said.
oh yeah. If the show were to be canceled prior to that year, then Fell would return to Three's Company. But Lindley did not request the same thing. That's just so crazy to me. And then I'm thinking, and they kind of say in here that he always felt that they specifically made the time. They deliberately postponed making the cancellation official until
Oh, I
after
think
the
that's
1 year mark.
1,000,000% true
Oh
because
yeah.
Don Knotts was killing it. Yeah,
Well,
like
and the person who came up, the producer who came up with the idea of this spin-off, right, was fired after that. Not as a result of this, of doing the spin-off, but in the course of that year. Well, he was hired at NBC. So Norman Fell thought that this guy who came up with the idea of this spin-off, and maybe that's where it lost its luster, is the guy behind it's gone. He hoped that NBC would do something and pick up this show. And he was like, no, I have
no,
no interest in the Ropers now.
no, which
So
is a
he
shame. And
was,
again, I mean, Norman Fell worked, right? But he never had the same
he didn't work, he never worked hard,
success.
Mike. Let's be honest. I mean, but maybe that's by
Well,
design.
don't
That's his
forget,
character.
but don't forget the
Yeah.
much talked about episode of A Love Boat that he did was prior to all of this. Like he
Oh,
probably knew it was happening, but
wouldn't he
like
be happier?
you know, this was
Like, depending
that
on
was back
when?
in like
It was 70.
well, not if he started to get approached about it.
Oh, so he probably filmed
So
it in
that was the
78.
big right. So that's like he probably was like they probably talked to him about it as he was about to go on the show.
That's why he did
Like
nothing.
literally
He was
he's
frozen.
backstage and so he's just like nope, I'm not doing anything. But
What a
at
crazy
least he's
situation.
commemorated. At least he's commemorated with a stubby named after him.
Well, Philly's not finest, but Philly's, right?
Yeah.
So,
Listen,
and
there's
I'm
a lot of
glad
us.
we had the chance to talk about it because and I do think this is kind of one of those weird, the backstory behind what happened with this show is way more interesting than the last episode of the show. I can say that. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so interesting what
And
made air and what lasted versus what just did not make the cut.
right. And ultimately it is a show that we did talk about a lot in the time
Yeah.
slot. The
Well, 'cause
only
the
other
theme song.
show and it's leaving, right? Like so
Right.
we try to get the shows in before they're actually out of circulation. So this was our one chance to do it. We have talked
Yeah.
about wanting to do BJ and the Bear. We reserve the right to do BJ and the Bear when
If we can ever
it
find it.
pops up. Right. But
Why
ultimately
is that? Why is that so hard to find? I don't understand that. If it's
I don't know.
NBC,
The monkey is litigious. It is funny when we watch this stuff on Peacock and it's like there are just so many things on there. I'm like, really? We can't have BJ and the Bear? Like
maybe it's a PETA thing.
Sure. So
I don't know. It doesn't make sense though. For
it
a
is
show
odd.
that didn't even mention that there was a monkey on it, I don't know why they're hiding this show from us. Like, come on,
Yeah.
NBC
But
people.
an ignominious end for the Ropers, which was
Yeah.
a little disappointing.
Just
But
extinguish that flame.
they're not all
Just
going to be
that
winners.
No.
Mike, would you recommend watching either of these episodes?
Sure. I would recommend watching that first one. I think if you want to see how the Ropers sort of began or get a glimpse of what that is, and then I would lie and say that episode, The Party, never existed. So just leave them with a good, I would. I think it's important. But again,
Yeah.
it's more the backstory than the episode. I tell the backstory to somebody, then show the episode. Just because it's, can you imagine something like this happening today? Like, no, like, I don't know how, I guess these, the powers that be, I mean, they really, I don't know. I can't think of an equivalent. You've had
People are too
characters
savvy.
leave, but just wait till the year goes by and then cancel the show is such a jerk move. But
I would recommend
Yes.
the first. I would recommend the first episode. I would most certainly not recommend the second episode.
No.
Second episode is almost American Girls bad. It's very
Well,
bad. So,
and it seemed to me like it didn't have a last episode feel. So it definitely felt like this cord was yanked. You know what I mean? There was
yeah.
nothing significant about this episode to go. "Oh, this is
Or
one
it
we're gonna move on."
had the last episode feel of you're out. and these guys are just like here,
Right,
like just,
right.
you know, I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
sit
do a
down.
news show with
So-
Mrs. Roper's sister because she had all the and
all
the
kids.
guy and the priest that lives across the street.
It's great
Yeah,
stuff.
interesting, and I like to see this because I love that the context of where we are with the Love Boat as opposed to some of these other shows.
Yeah.
Just kind of makes it all make more sense.
Yeah, and who knows? Like next season, when we have our first episode, it'll be October because of the writers and actors strike.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we assume we will have new shows, and you know, we will find shows that maybe we have to do a bonus episode about because they're things we talk about a lot on What Else Is On. But this was the first one that I actually had some history with, and it probably ruined my history with it. So I'm kind of sad that I watched it.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, no, I'm glad we were able to talk about it. Yeah.
Our next episode on the 4th of May will be the Stubbies, the third annual Stubby Awards. Some of the people in this 2 episodes that we watched could be nominated. More than likely, one person will be nominated,
Yeah,
but
probably just one.
It is possible, but those are coming up. And then our season 4 premiere is 2 weeks after that on Monday, May 18th. So we are right back at it with our 4th season, which includes a pair of 2-parters in the first 4 episodes.
I saw that. I was like, oh no.
That's why you're getting a bonus episode now, because you sure as hell are not getting a bonus episode in the middle of that.
Time. Oh boy. Well, we did this to ourselves in taking this project on. So
we did. But I'm glad we did this as always, and I do like getting to see stuff that we haven't seen, but also stuff that we had, to see if it holds up to the test of time. And we'll always have Norman Fell on our Stubby ballot every year.
Good old Norman.
Any last thoughts, Mike?
No, but I think we owed this to Norman. We owed this to Norman. I feel that from a Philly guy. We name a lack of effort award after him. We had to try to.
Yeah.
We had to try to make it right, I guess.
Exactly. And, we got a couple of his classic Fell laughs, but we didn't get the camera deadpan.
No, it's my
which I was sad about. But we at least got some of that stuff, which was good. And you got your theme song. So
I did. Greatest theme
ultimately it's a win. But
I'm good with it.
And that's the last we'll talk about the Ropers. Unless Three's Company shows up on a Saturday night, which I guess is possible. Or
Three's a crowd, who knows?
I think Mrs. Roper pops back on the boat a few times.
I do. I think so.
Yeah.
I think 2 more times, if I'm not mistaken.
And I hope Patty McCormick does as well. I don't know about Tambor, but it'd be great if he did.
Oh, but I was thinking that too. Please show up.
He might be too established by the time.
I'm gonna start a petition. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this bonus boat episode. Thanks for joining us. We will see you in black tie on the red carpet for the Stubbies on May 4th. For Mike, I'm Mike, and we'll see you next time.